tello connect and activate. Alright, so we got a bunch of different things that we are trying to accomplish with this video. So we're going to work through a bunch of different screens. Just bear with me. Some of it I will be able to demonstrate, and some of it we'll just kind of have to simulate. Let's pop over to this screen first. So in case you might be having some trouble getting the Mind Plus software to work, the place that I know that works every single time is through the DJI Download Center. So if you go into the Download Center, Google it, go into the Download Center, you'll see, we'll go ahead and pop it in here so you can find it. Down here where you click on software, well, let's remove this. You're going to click on software, and then you're going to click on other software and scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll see Mind Plus right there. I'm going to click on that. Go ahead and click that executable file. Once you've done that, double click that. That should work well for you. And when it starts off, it'll ask you for your language. Make sure you click on English. Its default language is Chinese. Agree to the terms and install. We're going to let that do its trick. We're going to pop into something different. We're going to jump over here to the actual tello with the battery installed in the back side till that snaps in place. You'll see the power button here by my finger. Click that one time. You'll know it's on because the lights are going to start flashing. Now we're going to jump over to my smartphone, and what I want you to do is go into the App Store, and you're going to search for tello, and you'll see I've already got it downloaded, but it says tello open. That first one there at the top, that's the one I want you to use. I want you to open that up, and then you can jump off of there and get into your settings, go into Wi-Fi, and look for something that says tello. So there's your tello that shows up there in those networks. We're going to click on it. You'll see how it jumped over to this unsecured network, and it's doing its connection, and it says no internet. Once you get that no internet connection, you are fully connected. You're going to jump into your tello app. Now, in this case, it went straight in and opened up to the camera and it's ready to go. If this had been a new one, which most of you have a brand new one, down in the bottom between these two controls, you'll have an activate button, and it'll come up twice. So all you have to do is click those two activate buttons. They're very simple, and that will bring you to a configuration screen. Like this. Okay, once you're in that configuration screen, you'll have different options that you can do. This is the one that will, this is the screen that actually defaults when you come out of the activation page. This is just a good spot for you to know where this is at, because this is a place that you can go back to if your drone's having some problems. Okay, if you crash your drone or notice that your drone's not flying right, the first thing we always want to do is check the four blades and make sure there's no nicks or tears or breaks on them. It doesn't take a whole lot to get them to get this drone not to fly right when there is a nick. So we have included some propellers that you can use to replace these, the single propellers as they break. You don't have very many. You only have 2 brakes on each different size, so be careful. If you'll notice when you're changing them, there's a couple of marks on this propeller, and there is not on this. So these 2 propellers are the same. These 2 propellers are alike but different from these. Okay, hopefully I said that right. There's marks on them, so make sure when you take them off, just by pinching them and pulling them off, you only take one off at a time, so you know when you put them back on that you're putting on the right one. Okay? If that doesn't work and you still have some problems with the drone not flying quite steady, you might want to go in and look at these calibrations. You have the IMU, which status right now is at normal, and the center of gravity calibration. Both of those can be done whenever you have flight problem. Most likely your flight problems are going to be because of your battery. So if you get below 50% on your battery, your drone will not fly your program course right. So only program and fly within the top 50% of your battery. Okay, that's great news. Once you've done that, you'd be able to go in and fly like normal. So we're going to pop out of here and go back to where we were before and look at completing the installation of our Mind, and boom, you see Mind has opened up. All right, I'm going to jump over to a different screen. Give me a quick second here. Perfect, here we go. Boom, I think we're good. Okay, so we're going to jump into how we're going to connect now that we're looking at connecting to the Mind Plus software. A little loud here, let me set that down. All right, in the app or in the settings on your iPhone, go ahead and disconnect from the tello just so it is not causing a conflict when you try to go in with your laptop. So now with your laptop, we want to go into our settings and our network settings and look for tello. Okay, there is tello. So we're going to grab tello, we're going to connect. This is going to do the same thing that our phone did. So we want to give it actually a second or two to connect before we try connecting Mind Plus. So give it a second to acquire its network and show you that there's no internet, and then we should be good to go. I'm going to let that work in the background because it's taking a little bit of time. And I'm going to come over here while we're doing that. I'm going to show you. There we go. We got what we needed. So I'm going to show you here. We're going to start off by coming to the extensions down here in the lower left-hand corner. And we're going to click on Function. And we're going to click here. So I clicked that away so I can demonstrate this properly. We're going to come in here and click on RoboMaster Single. Okay, just one click, it pops it up here, and then we'll come up here and click back. Now that we're here, we can go ahead and connect. We're going to go to Function, click Function, and you'll notice this little mark here next to the name RoboMaster. Click that. It's going to search for your device. Sometimes it finds two devices. Just pick the one on the top. Everything should be good. And if we did everything right, this will get a connection, like it says here, connected, and close that out. We're going to go through some programming. This is going to be really simple stuff. Left click, drag and drop. Left click, drag and drop. Most of all of our programs will start with takeoff and land. And then there's a lot of directional flights. As you can see through here, there's many different things we can program the drone to do. You're going to pick the ones that you need to get through the course. Some of the common ones you'll use is like fly up and rotate. And you'll notice here's a little marker. This marker here is adjustable. So as we measure our travel that we need to make between the course, we can type that in after highlighting, or we can just use the scroll button here and scroll to wherever it needs to be. If you got something you've done wrong, right click and hit delete block, and that block will delete. Once you kind of get at a starting point, you've worked for a while, make sure you come over here and click in project and save as, and find somewhere where you want to save your flight and click save, and there you have it. Now we are going to take a look. We've got a check mark, which means we're connected. And we are going to demonstrate at this point. Once you're ready to execute the mission, we simply have to just double click on takeoff. And the drone will go up and do its thing. I know it's popped out of the camera a little bit, but it'll go up, it'll take off, it'll rotate, and it will land. One of the things I wanted you to notice that if you have in takeoff and you have an emergency, you don't no longer want to execute the rest of that program, just drag that land out real quick and double click on it and your drone will land, right? Okay, so make sure you have everything lined up here. Make sure you're clicking save. And that should get you started with activating, connecting, programming the flight. Start off with some simple takeoff, forward, flip, land to get used to how it works. If you ever have any problems with connectivity, take the battery out of the drone, power it back on, and go through that connection process again. And remember to stay in that top 50% of your battery. You may be at this point starting to create mock-ups of the course that we sent you. Make sure that you start preparing yourself to fly through those courses. And if you have any other questions, give your sponsor a call, send us an email. We'll help make additional training videos or come out to see you at your location. Thanks a bunch.